Hey, I just felt to come out here and say that, you know, the MLB Network, and except for John Smokes, by the way, because he's the only one cheering for us, by the way, that works there. All these other yahoos are out there. Oh, the Braves ain't gonna win. The Braves are gonna flop. Well, you know what? Our day's coming, and when the MLB Network, you know, has what they've been up for 12 years now. They had the Yankees pull a rabbit out of their hat the first year that they were on that network. So everybody got their light. That so far the Yankees hadn't went back to World Series. I don't think since then anyway. And you know, so our day's coming. Braves have been at this for 22 years, and it's about damn time. Cubs have had their time. Boston's had their time. Everybody that's pretty well been, you know, I've seen the repeats of these teams. Dodgers had their time last year. As a matter of fact, in 2013, we suffered yet another defeat at the hands of the Dodgers. For some reason, we always seem, we had in the 90s, we had three chances. We cashed in one of them. And I remember like it was yesterday because I sat there and watched it, and I was like 11 years old then. So me and Papa watched it. And, I think back then it was on one of the local stations. I think it's either NBC or ABC. I can't remember which. It might have been Fox. But we sat there and watched it. And I remember Tom Glavine was on the mound, one of the Braves' all-time legends. If he didn't do it, Smokes would have had to do it in Game 7. But Indians had one of the most potent offenses, power. They didn't have speed, but they had power. They had old Albert Bell. They had, they had Omar Vizquel, Manny Ramirez, amongst other big players. Lord, I to go through their lineup and tell you who they all was. I know almost all of them were all legends of the game. And, they built their team up, try to win a World Series. Cleveland, I think, now is like the one that hadn't won it in the last 50, 60 years or whatever it's been. But to see the Braves pull this out and win what I call the Intercontinental Championship portion of the deal, when you win the NLCS trophy, well, now it's time for the world title. Yeah. Now it's time to bring it all home. And as much as I've been down and sick a little bit, just can't do anything but cheer you up. I wish that we could have won 2 or 3 more of those championships in the 90s. But, you have to wait a little while sometimes. And I know all the old Braves probably at home, Bobby Cox probably be down there. He'll probably get, I tell you what, he'll probably get a ticket down there if he's still able to travel. And him and all the Braves will probably go down there and have a big old party. I tell you, well, what if they don't win the World Series, Derek? Well, I don't care. Look, this is close we've been in 22 years. I hope we do it, but if for some reason or another these assholes, Astros, I know, but it's coming. If not this year, it's coming because now they've gotten over the playoff hump. Of being eliminated in the first round or 2 rounds. Now they've made it. So when that happens, just like the Cubs, Cubs waited 108 years or whatever it was, and so they got their one championship. I remember hearing a story about them. There's a fan about back then when they won I think it's when they won the World Series. He was still alive or something, and he had just watched them win it and then passed away. So it might have been fate playing their hand, but these people wait a while. But we may go on a stream of 2 or 3 World Series here. I don't know if we'll win them all, but we went 14 years in a row being the top team and winning those division titles every year. And for some ungodly reason, we've kind of been, out of all the teams in the Major League Baseball, we've always been that one team that all the people always hope choke for some reason. We don't have a Tennessee team, but this is as close as you get. And a lot of people from North Carolina and all up, and them other southern states, they don't have, baseball's got a large problem, because, there's a Florida team, but the Braves have got the best chance, the best, cheering section. The fans can do the tomahawk chop. You can't do that nowhere else. I know, Derek, they stole that from Florida or whatever. Well, who cares?
Who gives a rat's ass?
They ain't no reason. There's a reason why the Braves, for some reason it took something like that to get everybody fired up. And that's one of the best things if Fair could go and watch that live, one of these days, that'd be nice. But, I came pretty close one time meeting Chipper right after he retired. The year after he retired, he was having an autograph signing. My dad was trying to find out how much it was. And he knew it would cost something, but he told me what it cost. And he was going to be down here. I think it was in Chattanooga or somewhere. But I think, anyway. And so, well, I'm pretty sure, but I'm not. I can't quote. But anyway, he was charging $50 per person, which to a lot of people that might not sound like much. But, when you got to make bills meet and ends meet, you can't, that $100 is quite a bit, So, but no, MLB Network's going to have to kiss our ass now for the next year. All them naysayers and all these critics out there hoping all these other teams knock us down. We've always been that team, that one team that's, you never see another team like the Braves. Braves, they get the best rookies. All you got to do is look back. Ever since, really, I didn't pay much attention to the 80s and 70s or 60s Braves, but they always, ever since Ted Turner got that thing rolling and owned the Braves for all them years, got old Bobby Cox back in the dugout, old Bobby is like Brian Snicker is, he's old school, and So, it's pretty cool seeing this. I never thought, I'd live to see another day where these Braves would have another chance at a world championship. But this could be the year. I'm not going to say it is and it isn't, but I'm telling you, one day it's going to be done, and hopefully they do it this year, get it out of the way, and make like I said, John Smoltz. I know he's happy. I know a lot of the old legends. I don't know a lot of the young ones. I know Freddie because I still kept up with it enough at that time. I hadn't been watching the last couple of years that much due to this virus junk, so I just kind of laid back. And then the games that come on so late, like the World Series and all that, they come on so late. I wish they'd do it during the day or something. But hopefully they'll show a replay of the game so we can watch it here in a little bit on the MLB Network. But
woo!
But
I'm so tickled. I'm so proud of my boys.
But now we're gonna be watching. Hopefully if I'm better, get a little bit more better, and hopefully I can wing you late night when it's hard though, because like I said, it could go 4 or 5 hours, it could go 6 hours. And I don't know a lot of the Braves current ones, but Freddie, it's been a long time coming for him. He's the veteran on the team. He's the one that, out of all of them, hasn't tasted the World Series. So for him, being from Canada and all the things he's been through, cancer and stuff like that, and he's probably, like I said, he's probably the one that probably needs this the most out of all of them. But they all deserve it because, like I said, it takes them all to win it. It takes seem like baseball don't have that many true legends anymore. It don't seem like the name values and just those that catch your eye. But I knew Ozzy Albies and these other people they were trying to get. The Braves is one thing about them. They ain't like the Yankees. They ain't like everybody else. Boston Red Sox. You can name a whole bunch of teams. I guess another team I could mention that seems to sometimes pull a rabbit out of their hats, them Florida Marlins, they won the wild card, just barely scraped by, gets in there, and then I think they ended up costing us one of those, one of them times, but a team that's never won the division, because usually everybody wins the division title somewhere. But they got by twice, winning the wild card and then winning everything twice, 97 and 2003. Even one of those was one of those years I know the Yankees were in the World Series. Maybe in both times, I'm not sure. But on one time it was the Yankees, and you got to hand it to them when these teams like this don't usually get up there, never gets picked. But the Braves has always been my team, and even before the tomahawk chop existed, it's kind of cool listening to. I finally found out what happened to Joe Simpson. I thought maybe he did something wrong or somebody, caught him doing something. Of course, I didn't know, but I looked up. He's a radio broadcaster for the Braves. I wish he stayed on the TV because I liked hearing him. But a lot of these naysayers are gonna get it one of these days. There ain't gonna be anything that can stop it.
No.
Come hell and high water, the creek don't rise. The Braves are gonna prove you wrong, and you're gonna have to like it. And that's bottom line because we said so. And it's one of those times that you don't get these every day, and they play.
Baby, they are my
They
idol.
play 6 months out of the year. I'm gonna start trying to watch them though this coming year and see if they got these rules back to normal. I hope anyway. But yeah, I kind of want to watch because I don't like the 9th inning rule, the 10th inning rule, or whatever it was, or 11th inning, whatever. Whenever they started that, putting the.
Baby, they are my idol.
But I hope
idol thing.
I've always hoped that that they would see another chance, and like I said, everybody gets a chance. It's just up to now I know Durkee, they don't usually let pitchers go. I know that's one thing that sucks. You always hear about how these athletes are supposed to be better trained, better conditioned and all that, but yet the managers a lot of times. Don't get me wrong, I've not watched a whole lot of this recent run with the Braves, but a lot of times you don't see John Smoltz, Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, anybody like that. You don't normally see it.
No.
I watched a guy yesterday named Charlie Liebert. Never heard of him hardly. A little bit, not much. And it was a throwaway game. 1991, first year they had the chop. Braves had won. I've actually got both games, the last game and the one where they were scoreboard watching and waiting for the Dodgers. Oddly enough, the Dodgers had to beat the Giants. If they won and we won, then we won that year division title, and that's the way it played out that day. And I can't remember if they did it while the game was on or if it was, a little bit later after the game, but they found out, and eventually Braves went on to the World Series against the Twins. We had a chance against the Blue Jays in 92 and 93. 92. 93, we didn't make the World Series. We had a chance. We had the next shot. 94, we didn't get to see what would have happened there due to strike. But 95, we closed it all up. And again, in 99, we lost to the Yankees. So, every time that we have won one of these big playoff things, we have beat somebody's biggest, most potent team. And the Dodgers have always been, here's of late, they always got them big old bats, and big old, the people that's come in the last 10, 15 years, whatever it's been, the last 8 or 9 years or something like that, the ones that's always got the most power and the ones that you hear of in the most recent years that you could name off, they've done that. And, so we beat a good team. So they ain't no team that can beat the Braves. If they beat, like I said, 95, we beat another big old, well, it's because of that damn hole on it. It's all right. Hot chocolate's hot chocolate. I'll drink it either way. Because that little hole in the top in a cup. That's kind of neat. I've never seen a cup that had a.
Sorry.
Well, that's because of that.
I'll make another one.
It's all right. That'll be just that hole in the cup that it's put in there. But no, we're going to be having us. The Braves can use this time to rest, and for as much hell as they've been put through by the media and by the other so-called fans of all these other teams, this is payback for all these doubters. And if you count the Milwaukee Braves and the Boston Braves, we won 3 in total. But the other 2, Hank Aaron was playing, I believe, in '57, so he got to experience a Braves champion. It was Milwaukee Braves then, but now we're Atlanta, so.
He will always be a legend to me.
But the Boston Braves, I think we won. I think the years we won was 1914, 1957, I know, and 95. So 2021, it's time for the new era of the Braves fans to see, including some of us that still were born in the 80s, see another time, since have another chance at it. Maybe, like I said, maybe we go on a 3 or 4 year run at this thing. Maybe win 3 or 4 in a row. Maybe everybody shut up then. Sometimes you need to do one of them Yankee runs. You need to win 4 or 5 in a row, so then everybody can say, wow, they've got, 7 or 8 by now, so hope that this don't turn out to be one and done, but hey, it'd be nice to kind of have this be a talking point for the next several years. I know Freddie's, like I said, I don't know what his deal is. I don't know if they're going to re-sign him or if they already have. I'm not sure. But this will be a memory for him that, he was on an underdog team that always seems to prove everybody wrong. Everybody puts their chips down on all these other big teams. And like I said, Boston didn't win them back to back. They won, it took them every few years. There for a while, it was weird, but just let it alone. It'll come on its own. That's way it drier. I don't know. But, there for a while, if you take the San Francisco Giants, and they there for a while they was winning every even year. 2010, 2012, 2014. So they didn't do it every year, but every other year they did it for that 6-year period. They won 3 out of the 6 years they won that thing. And, it goes to show, that if you have a good enough team and if everybody stays on the same page and everybody gets along and there's no New York Yankee bullshit media to have to worry about. That's one thing I like about the Braves. They don't get overexposed. They ain't no steroid junk. I've always been proud of the Braves for that. They've always stayed out of the newspaper. We had one of those jackasses. Seemed like one year, he was a troublemaker and he was at home beating his woman up or something, and the Braves canned his ass, sent him packing. They didn't put up with it. I can't remember the doofus's name, but I remember hearing about it, and it was about 10, 12, some odd years ago. And I think, it was around the time Freddie came in, and I think it was a year or two after. And a lot of these guys are rookies. I don't care about the highlight package. I want to see the whole game.
I do.
But MLB Network, if nothing else, they're gonna have to kiss our ass. Like I said, though,
I'm proud of my boys.
for the at least. Hey, if we win the Intercontinental, what they in the WWE, what they call the Intercontinental Championship, you know, if that's pretty good. You know, you've shut these people up. You've had a World Series. You know, I'd say the next team would probably be the one team that has never won one. Speaking of one that's never won one, this is one of the longest ones too. The Mariners, Seattle Mariners. You know, that team has had a hard time. You know, they in '95 the Braves. So you had a bunch of teams there. You had Braves. You had the Mariners. King Griffey Jr. was trying to push them, you know, to a championship, but the Braves ended up beating them. And the playoffs was a lot different back then too. You know, what didn't have is I don't think it had as many rounds or something. I had to go back and look, see how it was all set up. But I know it was a lot different in some respects because, you know, it took quite a few years to get it the way it is now. But now, you know, the game 162, if you go, I can't remember what year they started that, probably about 4 or 5 years ago. They started this thing where everybody plays each other at the same time and nobody gets to see the other team. They don't find out nothing until the games are all over. Now you can say, well, Derek, well, it's hard to scoreboard watch when you're trying to win your own game. Now, if you're one of those teams that's playing on that day and you ain't competing, you don't care as much, but you probably still want to win the game. But you know, you're not caring which team wins or loses because your team be going home, but you're trying to still probably win your game, like I say. But you know, but yeah, it feels pretty dang good to see what Atlanta's done for themselves, and hopefully
I'm proud of you, boys.
Hopefully we keep it up. Hopefully we make all the people in Tennessee over here, and all the other lesser known Braves fans, because Tennessee don't have, like I said, this is the closest team we got. So, baseball's always added teams that don't need to be added, like the Nationals. Lord, and they didn't need those Tampa Bay Rays. They already had the Florida Marlins. And then they had Arizona Diamondbacks, which Arizona didn't have a team, so I guess, you can make an argument there. But they won in 3 years. I mean, they won if you go year to year, you really say 4 seasons, so about 4 years in. 3 years if you count it. It depends how you count it up. But if you go year to year, it's four years. So it took them 4 years to win one championship. So the Diamondbacks, kind of fallen off the wagon since it's been 20 years for them. So I mean, like I said, your teams that's not won one are the Mariners. I think that's the only team I can think of. It's not won a world championship, but it's still around. The Montreal Expos, I think, was one that didn't win. I'm not counting the Nationals because that's a whole different team. I know they try to bring out those retro uniforms. Well, Derek, it's what the team, but the Montreal Expos will never win a championship because, they're never going to bring them back. I don't know why they won't. I mean, or at least another Canadian team. How many teams have we got? Let's see. We got 30. So you got 2 New York teams. You got we got the Astros and Rangers. There's 2 Texas teams. So there's 4 right there. California teams, you've got the A's, you've got Giants and the Angels and the Dodgers. My God. 4 fucking teams for California. So there you go. 4 teams. Speaking of the Angels, they won a championship in 2002. Largely, nobody probably even remembers that. I don't even remember it. I would have known that if I hadn't seen who won year to year. It's like, oh my God. And then, it's Barry Bonds' one and only shot, to win a World Series ring. And he ended up losing. The Pirates, probably a lot of people don't know, had chances to go in the early 90s. Twice the Braves beat them in games to advance to the playoffs. The second, what would be known as I call it, the Intercontinental Championship round. So they beat the Pirates twice. But no, it's just, every team has its days. So, Tampa Bay Rays actually had their time in 2008. And there for a year or two, Texas Rangers. So, like I said, we've seen a lot of the same ones win. I guess if you're a Dodgers fan, I guess seeing them win one last year was good. But like I say, we're gonna be hoping that Braves here can pull one out for all the southern states, or at least here in Tennessee, it's the closest we ever get. We don't have another team once they lose. Well, I mean, Florida Marlins, nobody, like I said, none of these other teams have anything going. I mean, they have a mascot, but they don't have any chance. They don't have no excitement. The Braves, they've been doing things for years. Not only the tomahawk chop, but when they hit
the goose turtle, all grown up.
When they hit a home run, we play that song. We play a song and have a siren goes off and everything else. I mean, it's just like no other team. I mean, if you're not a Braves fan, you'd have to say, man, I might want to check these people out. Like I said, their pitching's always, at times, sometimes, what I always used to criticize is sometimes they get these people. We had times where, we'd get some of these people and, like a Julio Teheran or whatever, and they try to lie to you and say, oh, he's the Braves ace for all his years. He ain't no Tom Glavine. He ain't no John Smoltz. He ain't no Steve Avery. He's no, none of these people that was built up to be, and I watched a couple of the years that the Braves wasn't sure what they was going to get from Smoltz or Glavine, a game or two. And I've got, some of the games from the I can't find anything later than 79. So the earliest stuff. But hopefully somebody will upload some more Braves games. I hope somebody actually uploads the whole last game of the Fulton County Stadium. I jerked a knot in this guy's ass yesterday for putting the beginning and the last of a piece of what was a final, and everybody just, why not put the whole game on there? Not just a ceremony, and not just, the end. Put the whole game on there. Ask some sports goofball from, so I don't know. I don't even give his name, but he kept egging it on there for 2 or 3 texts, and I thumbed him down. I was like, this guy's just been a jerk. He ain't no Braves fan. He ain't had no comeback either. I shut him up. I told you, if you ain't gonna do it right, don't put nothing up there at all. I mean, good Lord. I don't even know how to upload any of these videos, but I wouldn't upload just pieces of something or whatever, you know. I don't want the whole thing out there for everybody to see it. You know, it's a history making moment. I don't care who they played. I think they played. I think it was said to be the Padres. I think, but like I said, it's the last game. All the legends right there, and then you're like, well, why would they tease us putting a half hour before the game starts? Of course, you know all that ceremony, and then well, everybody else, the true Braves fans, gonna wonder where's the fucking game at. It goes with it. I don't care about the post game show, but I want the ceremony. I want the whole game. I don't care if it went 10 hours. I want the whole game. One time I stayed up, and this wasn't even a Braves game, but my wife remembers this like it's yesterday. But I stayed up 8 hours and watched 8.5 hours with WGN. Just happened to have a Cubs. I don't know why. I just randomly was flipping through the channels, and this was it's well, like I said, we've been married 10 years, so this was within it's probably been at least 7 or 8 years. One of the last times they were broadcast, I believe, on WGN. One of the last years, I believe, if not close to the last. But they had, they had this game between Cubs and Pirates, and they came on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and they stayed on till it was like 2:30 in the morning. And it took off every single last one of those freaking 30-minute stupid shows that, these little sitcom shows and all this other junk, it's just 30-minute shows, but it's like, and then I saw the news thing flash. Oh, it took that off. So I was like, well, damn, this thing could go all night. And I remember back in the old days, they used to have what they call a curfew at times because they didn't have lights at some of the stadiums. And they didn't have no choice but to start it the next day. But, hopefully they bring it back to where if something does go like that, and usually it gets down to, position players when the game goes a lot of overtime. But it's fun the way baseball does it. It's not one of these things where, if they bring it back, to bring the rules back to, I heard the reason they modified some of the rules was due to the virus. Well, it's over now.
Yeah.
And y'all got your little ass shots and all the other shit. Go out there and get it. If you ain't afraid of it and you don't want to get it, don't. So I mean, goddamn, let's get this thing rolling. Let's get the sports back the way it was, especially baseball. Quit modifying the rules. Quit changing shit up every few fucking years. Leave the goddamn thing alone. Let these damn players go out there and play. If it takes fucking 10 hours to play a fucking game, let it go 10 hours.
Hell yeah.
Goddamn, these people, the fucking fans. If I could ever go to one of these fucking games, it'd be the best thing you could do. So what? So what if it's 10 hours? It's worth the whole goddamn thing. You got bathrooms to go to. You got food. So you're not gonna starve to death. You ain't gonna thirst to death. My God, if there's ever any truth to the matter, that's why I've not watched the last couple of years because everybody's been so uptight and I didn't like that. I watched one game with that fucking rule when it came into play, and I was like, oh my God. Put a guy on second base for nothing. And then, it takes like one hit. And that's just stupid. I mean, my God, it makes these people earn their keep. Let's go back. That's the only rule that really bothers me. I mean, the rest of them I can understand. You don't want a home plate collision. if you can help it. They changed that rule when old Buster Posey got hurt, and where they couldn't just come in there and bowling them over like he used to, like old Pete Rose. But and the second base rule was changed, and like I said, it avoids unnecessary collisions. If you don't and you don't abide by the rules, you're automatically out. Which again, safety precautions, and that I can understand. I understand modifying that, and I can understand having the replay rule to some degree. But like I said, at times it bothers me because it's obviously a rigged up thing. These umpires sometimes have a an agenda. You see it sometimes where these people in the modern era. I remember watching a game. Smurge.
We're having a dinner.
Oh God.
Yeah, we're having a dinner.
What? Well, I don't know. I usually don't trust other people's cooking that much, but it'd be nice not to have to warm anything up here when you bring something home. But sometimes they have that old deli stuff, Some of that stuff that ain't no good. I don't know. Just depends on what it was, I guess. I've been at that church some, but it just, like I said, I ain't been in years. But sometimes they let people bring some stuff home. But see, it's what's going to draw you a crowd, though. See, it's the thing. A lot of these people, and I guarantee you, she'll come home and tell me, Derek, we had 30, 40 more people than we normally have. Yeah, because there's food. If you take food out, well, like I said, they average probably 10, 20 people on an average. So let's say bump it to 60, 70 people. Right there's where your 20 or 30 more people or 40 comes in. Sunday mornings, like I said, they always get like I said, for a small church, if you got 30 or 40 people on Sunday morning, say, on Sunday evening, you go down to 10. You go down to 10 on Wednesday. Like I said, if it was that good a service every time, unless you just had commitments, which my dad actually, he most time when everybody started going back to church, he couldn't go to church. And most time when he had us, on his weekend that he had us, he didn't go to church. Like I said before on the video, we could have not went up to Dots. But it's regular routine. Nobody, my dad never said anything but going to church or nothing like that. It's his choice. So, it just, like I said, you still could have done it. I mean, but it would have been a little later, Doc. If I would have went up there, probably stayed, we still could have managed going up, and I could see it now, it'd probably been instead of we usually got up at 7:30, 8 o'clock, got ready. By the time we got ready, 9:30, 9 o'clock, whatever it was, took about 45 minutes. So we'd be there about 10:30, 11 o'clock, 11:30, somewhere through there. So if you added church on top of that, you're probably looking at 1 to 1:30. Maybe 2:30. And like I said, you can still go up at Granny's, everybody stay up late anyway back in. So it was still wouldn't have hurt nothing, but it'd been later in the day. But no, it's just I hope the Braves win it. And like I said, for all of us down here in Tennessee and all the ones that Georgia gets to see this team every year. This is closest we get to seeing. I don't know why there's not been another team that kind of resembles the Braves a little bit, or have like a Tennessee team for baseball. I guess they figure they won't get as many. Well, if they had it in Knoxville or Nashville, something like that, well, that's I'm talking about for Major League Baseball. Yeah, that's the Chattanooga Lookouts. That's a small little. They get broadcast on TV, but it's not the same as watching Major League Baseball. They go above and beyond on the stadiums. They give people everything you'd want to have. Kids get a lot of, like I said, the Braves. They've had 3 stadiums in let's see, when was it? 66, 96. Well, just in 30 years they had 2. I mean, it's weird. Like, they played. They started off their 31st year going into a new stadium, Turner Field. Then in 2017, of course, I've never really liked the Braves stadiums that much. I mean, from a visual standpoint, there'd be things I'd like to see done different, of course. Just from the, because usually, like when you see a lot of the stadiums, the newer stadium for a lot of the teams stand out more, like the ones that, let's say like Wrigley Field for Cubs, it's got certain old, stuff with it. Red Sox have that big old green monster wall. The Kansas City Royals, they're another team that's not won in a good while, not since 1985. So you could be seeing them come back one day. Well, actually, wait a minute. They won. No, they won one in 2015. That's right. I think it's one of the teams. Yeah. But they won. They even had theirs. So I mean, it's been about 5-6 years or something like that. But yeah, they won. Yeah, I remember now. They were one of them that won. But no, I mean, so. But yeah, the Braves stadiums have not stood out from a visual standpoint for me. I mean, and some of the names, like Lord, people got mad at me for saying, "Well, Derek, just be happy they got a new ballpark." Well, my God, it's named after, of all things, it was named after a fucking bank. I mean, my goodness, at least when they had Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, that sounded like something that somebody would. It sounded historical, or it was named after something, historical. It sound, I don't know, And then Turner Field, named after Ted Turner, the owner of the Braves. I mean, was it the best looking stadium? No. And like I said, the newest one, it's now named Truist Park. Oh, for goodness sakes. See, they go from a bank, now they call it Truist Park. What the hell's these names? Where do these names come from? Why not name it something historical? Name it after something, that's related to the Braves or something. Hell, you could probably call it the Tomahawk Chop Stadium or something. Just something, come up with a it don't sound too good, but like I said, just something that would sound, you could come up with your own unique name, I would think. I mean, they got sponsors. Hell, the Braves it's one thing the Braves need is a Braves network. So Fair can go, so Fair would have to try to rely on these people on YouTube, because a lot of times they don't do you justice. Like that one I called out yesterday for half-assing around. I got him to shut up. But
I'm dressing your princess.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty.
Look at there.
Yeah.
She loves me.
Yeah, that's so pretty.
Oh, Daddy likes that.
Yeah.
Daddy likes that one. I'm trying to get a Disney.
But anyway, this will come out here and let everybody know, if you're a Braves fan and you ain't seen it, they won 4-2 last night. And so we're going to the World Series. Well, there's so much crap over there. Lord, every time you move that.
I got it. I'll clean it up in a minute.
I'm looking to make sure what the roads ain't really worried about it. Fun in there, or is it just I don't know.
Chair.
I don't know. Maybe
I know. Where'd it go? Oh, Lord.
we'll find it.
You go too far.
No. Let's see.
I'll have to call it in a minute.
Where's some old coffee?
You know, underneath the chair.
They're all sticky.
Right with that chair, trying to get your phone. It's sit underneath there.
But yeah, my wife got over here tinkering with this chair, and I think we knocked about everything off on it. But anyway, we're gonna get off here and well, do an update video later. Bye.
It's right here.
Huh?
It's right here.
Oh, okay. What was it at?
Underneath her butt.
Oh, it didn't fall.
Oh.
Okay, well, all right. Well, we'll get off here now, but we'll holler at y'all later.
I couldn't believe I was so tickled.